Yeah. It's probably not a good idea. Jaffa Cake. Aldi's value Jaffa Cakes. So Aldi's, if you want to sponsor us.
See, Netflix is good. But in terms of titles which I've seen or want to see, there's not many there. They're very good at making their own, the Netflix originals, TV shows, films and what have you. And they have some good films on it. But Amazon Prime is a very much a mix, isn't it? If I was to go to Amazon Prime, it would be if I was in the mood to watch some obscure horror film that was made. So I would delve into there and have a look around. But what I like about the Amazon Prime Video subscriptions, you can add channels to it. So of course, being a nostalgic horror film fan, Arrow Video had a lot of films which I love. Bride of Reanimator yesterday.
Oh, I love Bride.
And it was almost like a trip down memory lane, go back to my childhood, go back to the VHS shop I used to visit quite often and looking at these titles, House 1 to 3, The Mutilator. So I think it depends on what kind of audience you are. If you're kind of like me and you like the old school horrors and thrillers and whatnot, then there's a lot on Arrow Video. And I think it was £5 a month.
That's really good. That's
£5 a month. So it's better, but it will cost you a bit more, obviously. With Netflix, it's the one payment and then you get what they offer. With the Amazon Prime, you can kind of customise it, but it will cost you a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I think Demons 2.
Demons 2?
Come on.
Great
So,
soundtrack.
yeah.
Great soundtrack.
Brilliant. So, yeah, but I've been, excitedly going through the list of videos which Arrow Video offer, and I'm really enjoying it. So I probably will keep it. Again, you get a 7-day trial.
Ooh, I just saw Guyver.
Guyver. Yeah, I watched it the other night.
There's no extras though, are there?
No. You're just gonna get.
Because that's part of the thing I love about Arrow. Are there extras? For me, out of all the boutique Blu-ray labels, Arrow extras so far are leading the way.
Yeah. No, there's no extras on it, but you can. You can download them too. So if you're going to be on a long journey somewhere and you fancy watching something, just download the videos and you can watch them offline. Then you don't have to be connected to the internet.
Well, I might give it a go. Is there a trial period?
Yeah, 7 days. 7-day trial. If you don't like it, just cancel. But even if you do like it, and you continue to watch it, you can still cancel any time. So you're not drawn into any kind of 12-month contracts with it.
Yeah.
Which is great because who wants to deal with all that crap? You know?
No.
And then I had other channels. I can't remember the top of my head.
Yeah, I had the BFI one, which was good, and again I rinsed through that in 7 days. I actually then had it for an additional month because there was a lot of stuff I wanted to see.
MGM, BFI,
Mubi. There was, I mean, like Jim said, I've watched quite a few just on the regular Amazon Prime recently, and they must have got like some really good deals with some distributors because there's been like hundreds, literally hundreds of spaghetti westerns have dropped on there recently. Loads of Italian stuff. What did I watch the other day? It was kind of Rambo. Oh, Thunder. You ever seen Thunder? AKA Thunder Warriors. So imagine if Rambo was Native American, and it was like the added dimension of, like in First Blood, like the redneck sheriffs or whatever, were racist as well. So yeah, there was the Thunder series. So I think only the first one's on there, starring Mark Gregory, who was also in Bronx Warriors. Remember those? Yeah, all the Italian stuff. Demon Wind. Is it good? It's interesting to watch. It's pretty heavily inspired by the first Evil Dead, and it's early on in the cycle of kind of like rip-offs and everything. It's really trippy. So again, it's like guys going out, cabin in the woods. One of the guys though is like a martial arts expert, so and then another guy is a magician, which is less impressive to be honest. Again, it's very much cabin in the woods, possession, haunted, weird stuff happens. But it was in like the early 80s where there weren't any sort of rules established. So like just bizarre stuff happened for the sake of happening. You know, everybody was packing shotguns because that's what you did in 80s horror films, you know, lots of pump action, shotgun action, back-to-back fighting and all that kind of stuff. You know, very like Phantasm 2 era stuff. So, Demon Wind, not a good film, but check it out.
The studio, Sprocket Flicks.
Sprocket Flicks, yeah.
And they make some really crazy-ass films. I watched one, Evil Dead Inbred Rednecks, and
that rings a bell.
Yeah, they're basically a group of guys from America just having a whale of a time making questionable storyline films.
Yeah, check it out. Evil Dead Inbred Rednecks.
Inbred Rednecks.
They've used the exact font for Evil Dead.
Pretty much ripped
and the poster
off.
is similar to the lady coming out the grounds poster.
Unashamedly so. There's another one, Terror, a Blood Fat Lake. So, as you can imagine, for the artwork, it's pretty intriguing. It looks so terrible, you want to click on it, which I did. And like I said, it just shows now with Amazon Prime and the way it works with distribution with Amazon Prime, anybody can get their film on Amazon Prime. And these guys clearly are just...
Which can be a good thing or can be a
Which can be good or bad thing, but these guys are definitely getting their stuff done and put up. Maybe they need to spend a little more time on the storyline. But it's comedy though. Yeah, I think they're trying to be a trauma kind of...
The trauma guys.
Yeah, I think they're trying to be that kind of style, that kind of the next thing of that. It's good. It's good in the fact that they're just ballsy.
As a kid, I used to watch all the Trauma stuff. Trauma's War, Nymphoid Barbarian, and
What's
Dinosaur
the chicken
Hell.
one?
Or Poultrygeist.
Poultrygeist.
That's one of the late ones. But like that was like the 90s ones. Like all the 80s stuff I remember watching.
Yeah.
I mean, the video shops, they got this stuff in, and some of the people running the video shops must have wondered what the hell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, obviously there were the main ones like Toxic Avenger, Sergeant Kabuki Man. Class of Nukem High.
There's so many, but these guys are kind of
they're carrying the torch.
Carrying on that on. So you know.
So what was the Terror in Bloodfart Lake?
Terror, Bloodfart Lake.
I
this is the synopsis, right? When a group of college kids head off to their friend's cabin, of course, for a little high-octane sex weekend, they will get more than they bargained for in the form of the evil scarecrow killer, Jimmy Van Blunt. Seems like nobody is safe at spooky cabins in the woods by the lake these days. We'll work on that synopsis.
Yeah.
But, and I noticed the runtimes aren't really feature. This is an hour and 14, and I think...
That's fine. It's probably even for
and Evil Dead Inbred Rednecks was 46 minutes long, so...
there you go.
Yeah.
Fun for all the family.
Yeah, so we've got 46 minutes to endure of that, but...
Awesome. So, have you seen that one then? You've seen
that I've seen that one, yeah.
Worth 46 minutes of your life?
They pushed it a bit.
That's what I love about this kind of stuff. I mean, whether it's feature or not, because Amazon Video and even Netflix, they now have things which aren't, typically feature length on there.
Yeah.
That's great. Sometimes I don't have an hour and a half to spare.
Yeah.
But I have a bit of time on Netflix. So Kung Fury is on Netflix, and that's what, 35, 40 minutes?
Because we're all different lives, different, patterns of hours of working and what have you.
That's remarkably open-minded of you, Jim. You're all different.
I'm just very open-minded like that.
Sucking at the teat of Netflix again. So after converting to Prime Video, I've kind of crawled back and I've said sorry to Netflix, and I promised I'll never see Prime Video again.
Forgiven him though.
No. But fair play, Netflix have been upping their game recently in terms of decent film. Obviously, there was a lot of hype recently about Annihilation.
Oh, I've not watched that yet, but he definitely went on there.
It was okay. It was okay. I think
I'm raving about it.
I think the problem is, right, so the story behind Annihilation was that in America it got a limited release. Originally it was meant to have a wide release, but I think the studio behind it, either Paramount or 20th Century Fox, that one. See, this is the great thing, I don't have to research any of this, I can just, future James, you've got to do this now. One of the execs behind it kind of went, this film's too highbrow, it won't play well, so we'll just dump it overseas on Netflix. Which, for those of us with a Netflix account, cheers, mate! But it's not really that highbrow. It's interesting, it's directed by Alex Garland, he did Ex Machina, he also wrote the scripts for 28 Days Later. and Sunshine, both with Danny Boyle. The interesting about, I really like Sunshine, but the interesting thing about Sunshine is it's kind of like this highbrow, almost 2001 type film, and then the last 20-30 minutes, like the last act in it, basically becomes kind of like a monster movie in space.
Yeah.
And a lot of people criticised it at the time. I didn't have a problem with it. You know, I like the monster movies. But a lot of people didn't like where that last act went. This seems to almost have the opposite problem. So the first 2 acts of Annihilation are pretty much good old-fashioned monster movie fun.
Right.
So the setup is like a team of women scientists, and it's never really said why it has to be women scientists. It's the 21st century, dude. You know. They go into this area which basically has started to mutate. Like the first 2 acts, very much monster movies where, you know, they're like these huge giant shark meets gator hybrid kind of thing. So very sci-fi movie, you know, like fucking Sharknado kind of stuff.
I was going to say, is he gone?
But you know, handled in such a way that it's like almost slightly pretentious as well. And that stuff's great. That's really good. The last act then is just trippy as fuck. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's like the reverse of Sunshine. So like in Sunshine, it's like, you know, this, you know, pretentious, all in the headspace first 2 acts, and then a almost slasher film in space for the last act. This one's like the flip side of that. It's okay. I think the hype probably killed it. I don't get what that exec producer's on about by saying, oh yeah, this is, you know, too highbrow, it's not going to play to audiences or whatever, because it didn't feel particularly highbrow, to be honest.
It's not like a self-indulgent kind of project where...
It's a little bit towards the end. I mean, if it was an hour and a half, fine, no props. It's a good film, the cast is great, they've got Natalie Portman, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Gina Rodriguez, who's in Jane the Virgin. Because it's an adaptation of a book, but Alex Garland, who wrote the script and directed it, basically admitted that he'd read the book, and then when they got the rights to do the film, he didn't reread the book, so he just kind of wrote it without ever referring back to the book. So I suppose it's that tension.
It's very loosely based on it.
Apparently, yeah, and I think a lot of the criticism has been by people who love the book. Now, I haven't read the book, so...
Always get together, though.
Yeah.
Adaptations. Yeah. Always get together.
But I think he's wound a lot of people up by basically admitting that he didn't reread the book. So, you know, that is kind of, you know, baiting the fanboys slightly, isn't it? Super Dark Times.
Yeah.
You seen that yet?
No, it looks awesome.
It is amazing. So, I think it was very big in the American indie film festivals. Set in the 90s. It's basically about these 3 teenage boys going through that really awkward thing where, you know, like, they are clearly, you know, run by hormones and little else. One of the boys' older brother's off in the army, the Marines.
Right.
And they find a samurai sword of his, and then bad things happen. If it was set during modern day, obviously it would be a gun, and then that film could never be released because of the sheer number of school shootings that are happening. One of their kind of friends, they accidentally kill, or did they?
I've seen the trailer.
Yeah, with the samurai sword, and then it's how these kids all react to it differently, and, you know, this weird kind of like toxic relationship between them all. Really well done, amazingly acted. I mean, all of the kids involved in this do amazing performances. It's much more of a character kind of study. But having been a teenage boy myself,
boners and samurai swords.
I mean, I mean, for me it was boners and nunchucks, but
yeah. Definitely boners though.
Good times. Good Time, starring Robert Pattinson of Twilight fame. No, bear with me. Directed by indie darlings, the Safdie brothers. So this is like a New York set film. The idea of Robert Pattinson is like this low-life scumbag, and his brother, who is slightly autistic, almost on parole kind of thing. So Robert Pattinson kind of busts him out, and they decide they're going to do a job, and everything goes horribly wrong. And the idea is just everything spirals out of control, but Robert Pattinson, thinking he's being a good brother, won't give up, and, you know, like more ridiculous things kind of happen as they go on. Good, too long a film. The problem is, like, you get to a certain point where you're just like, okay, I just don't care.
Yeah.
You know, and Robert Pattinson does a really good job in it. Like, he's unrecognisable as Mr. Twilight guy. And you know, his character is basically despite everything around him falling to pieces, he's doing his best just to kind of stay afloat and keep things going, keep his brother out of trouble and everything. And he's doing it with the best of intentions. But at a certain point, everything is just going wrong, and you're just like, I just want it to end.
Yeah.
And it does eventually, and in a very low-key way. But, I mean, again, like I say, well worth seeing. There was quite a bit of hype about it. I think a lot of people said it was their favourite film of last year. I only got around to seeing it now. I wouldn't have said it's up there, but worth a view still.
Hmm.